Labdien visiem! Tātad es šodien pārstāvu Pusaudžu Resursu centru, bet tā kā mēs jau atkal pēc pusdienām diezgan ilgi sēžam un noteikti nāk miedziņš, vai ne, un gribas izkustēties, tad pieceļamies visi kājās. Un mēs esam dzirdējuši ļoti jauks piemērus, kas mums ir jāmācās, kad mēs kļūsim par profesionāļiem. Un tagad jūsu uzdevums lūdzu savām blakus sēdētājām pa labi pasakām, kas man no brīža, kad es ierados šeit, līdz šim brīdim ir noticis labs. Liels paldies, bet mums noteikti nav tikai viena laba lieta un pagriežamies uz otru pusi un pastāstam vēl vienam kolēģim citu labu lietu. Paldies, tad jūs varat apsēsties. Jā, un nākamais jautājums man ir, vai jūs pamanījāt, tad, kad jūs stāstījāt, ko varēja rādīt jūsu seja? Vai jūs par to padomājāt? Jā, jo šis teiciens man ļoti patīk. Strādājot ar cilvēkiem, tiekoties ar cilvēkiem, runājot ar cilvēkiem, vienmēr atceries, ko rāda tava seja. Jā, un es domāju, paskatoties uz skolēnu, paskatieties uz viņu vecākiem, vienalga, kur mēs tiekamies kādās komandās un sapulcēs, padomājam par šito. Ja? Jo dažreiz mums varbūt tā komunikācija nesanāk tikai tādēļ, kad es pats nezinu, ko es rādu ar savu seju. Ja? Tā ir tāda lieta, ko mēs varam padomāt. Jā, bērna strupceļi, kā tad mēs šeit esam nonākuši ar tiem bērna strupceļiem? Pusaudžu Resursu centrā sākot strādāt, man ir tāda ļoti laba komanda, un mēs pamanījām, kad bērniem pietrūkst pieaugušo klātesamību, ka viņi jūtās ļoti daudz vientuļi, un tad mēs sākām domāt, ko ar šito darīt. Un nonācām pie secinājuma, ka mēs gribam parādīt, kad viņi nav vieni, kad ar viņiem ir kopā ģimenes, un kad arī mēs speciālisti esam ar viņiem kopā, un mēs sākām viņus iesaistīt kopējos pasākumos ar vecākiem. Un mums, vismaz 3-4 reizes gadā mēs svinām lieldienas kopā ar vecākiem un bērniem, mēs svinam Ziemassvētkus, mēs rīkojam dažādas tikšanās, ejam pārgājienos, ja, un šie pasākumi ir tie, kur mums liekas, ka mēs vismaz varbūt kādam bērnam iedodam to sajūtu, vecāks arī atnāca kopā ar mani. Protams, nav 100% iesaist, un mēs uz to nemaz nepretendējam. Jā, bet katrs solis, ko mēs izdarām, ja mēs redzam, cik bērni aiziet pēc tam laimīgi. Un domājot tālāk, kā tad mēs vēl varam palīdzēt šiem bērniem un ko vēl mēs varam darīt kā speciālisti, mums radās šī ideja par šo konferenci, bet mūsu tēma bija līdziesaiste, jo mēs gribējām tomēr, lai vairāk arī līdziesaistītos gan izglītības iestādes, gan sociālajie dienesti, gan mēs, jo brīžiem mēs arī nesaprotam, kā to sadarbību veidot. Jo mums ir dažādas komandas. Skolās ir atbalsta komandas. Vai ne? Tas būtu tā kā pirmais līmenis, kur nonāk bērni, tad, ja viņiem rodas grūtības. Otrais līmenis ir multidisciplināra komanda. Pusaudžu Resursu centrs strādā ar multidisciplināru pieeju. Paskatīsimies, kas tā ir. Un pēc tam vēl sapratu, kad ir starpinstitucionālas komandas. Un tās ir tās kāpnītes, kā mēs palīdzam cilvēkiem, kur nonāk grūtībās. Un mēs saskārāmies ar to, ka, ja mēs esam otrais pakāpiens, jo mēs esam pakalpojums, kas nav saistīts ar izglītības iestādi, mēs esam ārpus izglītības iestādes un sistēmas, bet pie mums nonāk ļoti bieži bērni un vecāki, kuri jau ir pabijuši starp institucionālā komandā, bet kurš ir trešais pakāpiens, ja, atbalsta sistēmā. Un tas arī varbūt radīja to domu, ko tad mēs varam darīt, lai varbūt mēs tos pakāpienus arī varam piedāvāt šiem vecākiem, un lai viņi nejūtas varbūt, ka viņi visur staigā ar saviem bērniem un beigās neiet nekur, vai ne, ar ko mēs arī saskaramies. Jā, tātad multidisciplināra pieeja ir šī sadarbība, un tad es atradu arī pētījumu, kur arī ir šie līmeņi, kādos mēs sadarbojamies. Jā, un tā kā, ja mēs skatāmies, tad pirmais līmenis ir šis universālais līmenis, un tas ir, ka mēs aizejot uz skolu, tā tad jau saskaramies ar pozitīvu klimatu, ar attiecību veidošanu, jā, kad mums jau šis tiek tur piedāvāts. Jā. Protams, ja šī līmenī kaut kas iztrūkst, tad jau mēs pakāpjamies uz nākamo līmeni, veidojam jau sadarbību gan ar vecākiem, gan ar bērniem. Mēs vecākus ieaicinām. Mēs nesakām, jums ir jānāk uz sarunu. Jā, jo pie jums nāk jūsu bērns. Mēs viņus ieaicinām, jo mēs ļoti gribam ar viņiem satikties, lai dzirdētu arī vecāku stāstu, ne tikai bērnu. Un tad ir šis trešais līmenis, kur sākas šī multidisciplinārā iniciatīva, tātad, kur mēs sākam iesaistīties un strādāt tātad gan ar vecākiem, gan arī ar bērniem. Šeit arī dažas tādas atziņas no pētījumiem. Skolas klimats ietekmē apmeklējumu, skolas neapmeklēšana nav problēma, bet signāls multidisciplināra sadarbība palielina efektivitāti. Jā, tā kā, kas ir tā efektivitāte? Ko es ļoti novērtēju, Pusaudžu Resursu centrā ir ļoti dažādu speciālistu komanda. Un mēs jebkurā brīdī varam piesaistīt un prasīt palīdzību speciālistam, ko mēs redzam, piemēram, es kā sadarbības vadītāja redzu, ka es gribu pārliecināties, vai šeit nav kāda grūtība. Un tādā veidā mēs sadarbojamies un arī viens otram nododam informāciju. Jā, bet bieži vien, kad tas bērns un vecāki no mūsu sadarbības aiziet, mēs nezinām, kas notiek tālāk, jā, jo tā sadarbība tā kā mums ar institūcijām vairāk neturpinās. Jā, tad mēs darbojamies šī modelī. Galvenā būtība tātad ir šī pieeja multidisciplinārā, un tā ir šo speciālistu sadarbība, un mēs strādājam ar saskaņotu mērķi. Un kāpēc es varbūt tik ātri skrienu tam cauri, jo es negribu daudz pievērsties tagad slaidiem un pateikt to, ko mēs jau esam dzirdējuši, bet es domāju, ka mēs visi šeit šodien esam ar vienotu mērķi, mēs domājam par bērna labklājību. Un mēs Pusaudžu Resursu centrā klausamies stāstus, ko varbūt ļoti bieži jūs nedzirdat skolā, vai varbūt kaut kāda iemesla dēļ ne visi to pastāst sociālajā dienestā, vai tad, kad viņi nonāk kaut kādā komandā, kur viņi tiek izsaukta, vai viņi tiek izsaukti, vai direktora kabinetā, bet mēs klausamies šos stāstus. Un man liekas, nekas nevar būt labāks, kā mācīties no šiem stāstiem. Un tāpēc es jums piedāvāšu stāstu.
As a kid, I mastered the art of getting kicked out of foster homes. I was scared. I was confused. I was hurt by the things happening to me and around me as a kid, so I acted out. What kids do not talk out, they will act out. And for me, I felt like I had no one to talk to about these crazy, scary things going on in my life, so I acted out. And most regrettably, I took it out on the very people who were trying to help me. Here's how cynical I grew about my situation. I would literally keep a notebook with statistics of how quickly I could get kicked out of each foster home. 3 columns. Column 1, the date I entered the home. Column 2, the date I got kicked out. Column 3, the methodology I used to get kicked out. I was so callous, so removed, so bitter about my situation that it was like a game to me. What you don't talk out, you'll act out. And the fact of the matter is I trusted no one. And looking back, I guess, how could I? From the time my parents left me, to the time another foster kid raped me, to the time I was bullied so bad, I tried to kill myself with a bottle of pills. I genuinely could not fathom a world where I could trust anybody, especially adults. So fast forward, here I am, 14 years old, entering 8th grade and entering my umpteenth foster home. I was a veteran at this whole sort of getting kicked out of one home, moved to the next. I knew exactly how it went down. Social worker comes, picks you up, white government-issued van. You drive somewhere across town and you meet these people who were like literally complete and total strangers 10 minutes ago who are now apparently your mom and dad. You know, kids don't take candy from strangers, just move in with them. So I'm sitting in the van, in the driveway of this next home, preparing to meet Rodney and Christine from Yukon, Oklahoma. Social worker's giving me her typical lecture. I've heard it a dozen times. I'm not paying attention. I sort of gaze up on the front porch. And that's when I see Rodney. He's standing up there on the front porch. And immediately I notice, this is a large fella, even by Oklahoma standards. He's 6'5", he's 350 pounds, and as a 14-year-old boy, I couldn't help but notice, when he's turned to the side like that, he's shaped like a lowercase b. It's amusing now, but in the moment it was tactical. Nothing personal against Rodney, but maybe that's how I could get kicked out of this home. Maybe I could get under his skin about his weight. Again, it wasn't personal. I needed to make another log in my notebook. I returned to the social worker. She's continuing to lecture me about, don't you screw up this one. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I asked this next question, and I try to ask it casually to not raise any alarm with her. I say, did these foster parents have any sort of illnesses I need to be aware of? She's like, nah, not really. Well, come to think of it, Rodney does have narcolepsy. And I'm like, what's that? She's like, he'll be doing something, and he might fall asleep. I'm like, all right, that's weird. I say, what does he do for a living? She says, kid you not, he's a driver's ed teacher. I'm thinking, come on, people, I want a challenge. My previous high score is 7 days. I'm going to get kicked out of here in 3. So I move in with him. I release the Kraken. I unleash my typical antics. I'm being obnoxious, I'm being ungrateful, I'm being just downright rude and mean, I'm setting things on fire, I'm stealing the family vehicle, I'm getting suspended from school, and 3 years later, I can't shake this guy. Rodney won't kick me out. So I step up my game. I go to the local bank in town, small town Oklahoma. I open up a checking account. I put about $90 in there. Then I proceed to write $10,000 worth of checks. Obviously, checks bouncing one after the next after the next. One check that bounced was for my car insurance. In Oklahoma, if you don't have car insurance, they'll ping the system, and then they will cancel your driver's license. I'm going down the road speeding, Stillwater, Oklahoma, 88 miles an hour. No car insurance, no driver's license. I'm 6 months away from graduation. I get pulled over, handcuffed, thrown in the back of a cop car, and sent to jail. You get that one phone call. I call Rodney. Hello? Hey, Rodney, it's me. Listen, I don't know exactly how to tell you this, but... Rodney! Rodney! Yep, this is all true, by the way. Like, Rodney, I'm in Stillwater. I'm in jail. I'll tell you the whole thing when you get here. Can you please come bail me out tonight? He said, I will come bail you out, but not till tomorrow. Rodney frustratingly believed sometimes one of the most loving things you could do for a kid was allow them to sit in either the success of their wonderful choice or the stupidity of their foolish choice. Next morning, he comes, bails me out, exactly as promised. We have a long, very awkward car ride home. No one says anything. We get back to the house. He's like, we need to sit down and talk. And I knew this moment had finally come. To be honest, I don't blame Rodney for kicking me out. I would have kicked myself out. Rodney was a wonderful human being, and I did nothing but be ungrateful, unappreciative, hard-headed, stubborn, terrible to genuinely a wonderful human being. So Rodney, his wife, sit me down to give me the talk I've had a dozen times. He looks in my eyes and says, son, you can keep causing problems. You can keep trying to mess up. You can keep pushing us away. You can keep trying to get us to kick you out of here, but you've got to get it through your thick head, son. We don't see you as a problem. We see you as an opportunity. And in that moment, all my skepticism came to the surface. And I thought, what a cheesy, stupid thing to say to a 17-year-old kid. But then I was overwhelmed with the reality that this guy actually meant it. He didn't see what I was, what was on the surface. The obnoxious kid, the ungrateful kid, the kid getting suspended, the kid not appreciating how wonderful of a human being he was and the favor he was doing for me. He saw something far more subtle, far more nuanced. He saw what I could be. It was genuinely my turning point. Now, the fact of the matter is, you don't have to be a foster kid like me to face challenges, difficulties, circumstances these days as a kid. 3.2 million of our kids are bullied each and every year. Our young kids, as early as age 11, are exposed to pornography. 1.2 million of our kids drop out of school each and every year. Our kids are numbing out with drugs, and our kids are tragically killing themselves. And these statistics do not just represent kids that you might understandably assume they represent. Kids like me, foster kids, at-risk kids, kids in unideal situations. The fact of the matter is, these statistics represent all of our kids. From every imaginable background, every imaginable economic status, every imaginable situation, single-parent household, two-parent household, most ideal of situation, most unideal of situation. The fact of the matter is, these days, every kid is one decision, one friend, one situation, one moment, one choice of their own, one choice of someone else's, one decision away from being a statistic. Now, statistically, I am supposed to be dead, in jail, or homeless. And not to brag, but I am an overachiever, so I would have done all three. Just saying. Yet, interestingly, don't miss this, I'm not a statistic. And it's not because I'm particularly bright or resilient. And it's not because of a government program or the perfect school district or the latest best-selling parenting book, but because of one caring adult. One flawed, yet caring adult. One imperfect, just like you and I, yet caring adult. You see, every kid is one caring adult away from being a success story. Yes, even the kids that drive you crazy. Yes, even the kids that don't get and listen to what you have to say. Yes, even the kid that doesn't realize how absolutely brilliant what you're saying is. Every kid, including that one, is one caring adult away from being a success story. And I don't say that because I think it would sound nice to say up here or nice on like a cat poster. I love those. I say that because I am that kid. March 2015, Harvard's National Scientific Council on the Developing Child released this study saying, and I quote, "Every child who winds up doing well has had at least one stable and committed relationship with a supportive adult." My friend and mentor, Reggie Joyner from Atlanta, taught me to think about it this way. In this jar are 936 marbles. Each one of these marbles represents a single week from the birth of a kid until that kid turns 18 years old. So if you know a 9-year-old, you've only got 468 marbles, or weeks, however you want to look at it, remaining. And yes, if you're tracking with me, by this point, you have indeed lost half your marbles. You're welcome. You know a 16-year-old? You got 104 marbles remaining. Right here, we are looking at time. In fact, you're looking at all the time or all of the weeks you have left to influence this kid, or this kid before they turn 18 and begin making critical life decisions without your presence. Now, I don't bring this up to be depressing. I bring it up rather to impress upon you. What matters isn't how much time you have left with a particular kid that you care about. What matters is what you do with that time left. So, what exactly am I proposing? Thank you for asking. According to that fancy pants Harvard study, if you want to positively impact the course of a kid's life, you should identify one kid and consistently and intentionally invest time in that one kid. Maybe they're 8 years old and on your baseball team. Maybe he's 13 and is your own kid. Maybe he's 15, lives in your neighborhood. Maybe she's 17 and is your niece. For most of us right now, and I'm a father myself, and I'm thinking of like an older kid. For most of us, a kid kind of comes to mind. Identify one kid, consistently and intentionally invest time with that kid. Simply put, find out what they're into, and assuming it's not illegal, spend time doing what matters to them because they matter to you. This means one meal at a time, one bowling alley at a time, one thoughtful text at a time, one conversation at a time, one fishing trip at a time, one stupid teen movie about vampires you can't stand, no offense, at a time. One thing that matters to them at a time. And I'll be honest, sometimes when you're like investing time, you're like, well, it's not working, Josh. Like I'm doing that, like they're not listening. They don't understand how brilliant I actually am. And you probably are. Consider this. Kids spell trust, T-I-M-E. And when you consistently invest time in a kid, even though you're right most of the time, we don't deserve it. Josh, you're not a problem. You're an opportunity. Think of how many weeks I was absolutely obnoxious to Rodney. Ridiculous. Week after week after week after week. That wonderful man put up with my obnoxiousness. Built trust, built trust. You're not a problem, you're an opportunity. I mean, consider how many weeks Rodney had left when he bailed me out of jail. "26. I was 6 months away from graduating high school. 26 weeks to get through my thick head, my bitterness, my anger, my distrust of adults, to get me to finally accept help, finally to go to church, finally to go to counseling, finally to get a mentor. You see, it's not about how much time you have left with that kid you're thinking of. What matters is what we do with that time that we have. Because at the end of the day, this talk is not about my sappy foster kid story. And it's not about my dad, Rodney, though he's awesome. I have a photo of him for you here. My man. And it's not even really about our kids. It's about you. If what the Harvard study suggests is true, that every kid truly is one teacher, preacher, plumber, homemaker, engineer, empty nester, entrepreneur, if every kid truly is one caring adult, one Rodney away from being a success story, then the challenge is this. The difference between a statistic and a success story is you.
Jā, paldies, ka noskatījāties. Man liekas, tāds emocionāls stāsts, un šie stāsti pārsvarā arī ir emocionāli šiem cilvēkiem, bet es arī uzskatu to, ka to, ko jau mēs dzirdējām iepriekš, lai mēs palīdzētu citam, mums ir jāsāk ar sevi, un tāpēc es vienmēr priecājos, ja es vādu kaut kādas mācības pedagogiem vai sociālajiem darbiniekiem, nevis par to, cik viņi ir gudri, varbūt mācību beigās, bet tad, kad es no viņiem dzirdu, kā viņi sāk refleksiju par sevi, tad es saprotu, ka šeit ir cilvēks, kurš noteikti palīdzēs citiem. Paldies par uzmanību!
Sirsnīgs paldies, Sarmīte, sirsnīgs paldies par šo stāstu, šo filmu, principā, ko mēs varējām skatīties, iedvesmas lekciju, paskatīsimies, jā, kas šobrīd arī notiek mūsu slaido lapā, vai ir kāds jautājums, bet, jebkurā gadījumā es gribu arī tiešām pateikt lielu paldies tam, ko jūs ikdienā darāt. Es domāju, ka tā ir arī sajūta, ka Latvijā ir kaut kas ir kā drošības pilvens jauniem cilvēkiem, un vismaz šobrīd viņi zina, kur var vērsties un saņemt palīdzību, ja tāda ir nepieciešama. Tā kā milzīgs paldies liels!